tired, and I just hope you're going to enjoy it. Before we start, I need to say that if you hear fire alarm, please don't use the lifts. Use the stairs, and it would be much appreciated if you don't pay attention to your gadget at all. Phones, iPhone. And don't go to the toilet as well. You can go either now or whenever you wish. First, when I'm told us about this event, I was thinking of doing something about organizational politics because of personal interest. But then I thought, because the last session, and because most probably you all are going to be tired by now, I thought to change my topic. But before I proceed to my presentation, I wanted to see if I was to do organizational politics, if you would like actually to hear about it. If you would, can you raise your hand? Okay, that's good, that's good. Some of you would, some of you wouldn't. The thing with organizational politics is that a lot of people don't want to believe they exist, but it's a good thing that you would be interested because I am doing organizational politics. But I want to see the perceptions around organizational politics because some people doesn't want to hear anything about or doesn't want to participate on organizational politics. Beginning, I would like to say that office politics, organizational politics, office politics, workplace politics are the same idea, and they thrive within the business environment. And even we like it, or if we don't like it, it's the reality, and we need to face and have ways of understanding what is organizational politics, how we can deal with organizational politics. There are different perceptions around organizational politics, and that's what I'm going to try to do today. Clear a bit the image about them. The presentation is based on research. A lot of theorists and scholars have talked about organizational politics. And the outside of the presentation today, we're going to first talk about what office politics really is, and then I'm going to try to give an explanation based on the research of why they exist and how things changed around organizational politics. What's crucial and important is to identify who is actually playing that game, that political game. That's what we're going to try to do today. Politics has positive outcomes, negative outcomes. There are bad politics, there are good politics. We're going to have a look at that as well. And then we're going to see attributions that a person can have in order to play the game. By the end of this session, the aim is that I want you to realize and appreciate the nature, the role, and the consequence of organizational politics. And the learning outcomes would be to explore and challenge stereotypes of politics in the workplace and our knowledge ways of participating in the political game. As I said before, we tend to have different perceptions about not only organizations, how organization works, but about how society works as well. We all would love to think that society and people are generally good, and they trust each other, and they cooperate between them, and it's all about love and about liking something. But the reality is different, and when you hear about politics, you tend to think power. Well, power is just a word, but power is the ability to get other people to do what you want them to do, and politics is when you use that power, in what way you use the power that you have. Organizational politics, there are a lot of definitions about organizational politics. What is the common definition is when someone is trying to achieve something for personal interest, and it doesn't matter if they go towards another person, another individual, or the whole organization. Why we have politics and why it's important to know about organizational politics. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher, and what he said was that people, men, are political animals, and by what he meant about that was what distinguishes people from animals is that we actually have the ability to think and want more about ourselves, to try and achieve a good life instead of survival, which are like, we don't operate on instincts, but on what we want. Regarding organizational politics, there are three factors that explain their existence. First of all, within organizations, we have diversity of perspectives, divergence in general. What does it mean? That we are different people within international and global organizations nowadays, and what we want to achieve individually is different from what the other want to achieve. There's a need to be independent as well. We don't accept orders. It's a Western thing that we tend to challenge whatever we hear. We want to believe that we are independent and that what we are actually doing is because we want to do it and not that someone else told us to do it. And there is the need to attract resources, of course, within an organization is about having the power, and if you want to achieve something, you need to play the game again in order to achieve and attract resources. If we look a little bit of the history, how it used to be, because there was lack of diversity 50 years ago, for example, there usually was only white men working, and usually it was like a collectivist thing. What they wanted was, they had one goal, and there was only employer and employee. There used to be a team, and when they were going like when they wanted something, it was always a two-way thing, and that's how the trade unions created as well. Today is different because we are different and we have individual goals, as we said, and the organizations are more complex today. There is fluidity in general with the organization. There is insecurity going around. So it's like your death, my life, more or less. I'm going to show you a video now. And I want you to see, to look, and like being able afterwards to describe different different people, how they act and how they act within the organization. And to think like who is capable of playing the game, put like a face in that into people. No. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hello? What do you think was the basics? What does the video like shows? We escape and what? Yes.
And you've got to have like the vision, even though you might have the power, you've got to have the vision as well to do something, otherwise there's no point in having that power.
Absolutely. And who do you think has this power within the organization?
People with the vision.
In general.
And it's like a lot of people working together to get there as well. Like if you've got more of you, then you can get to a certain point. If you're all going in the same direction with the same thing in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. I mean, if the organisation or anything have target or goal, they might have different ways to achieve that. But if they have discussed this through and cooperate, they might achieve it as a team. Where you see the individual before and they have a goal, but they sit there without any communication with others, nothing like that.
It's good you look at it from this perspective, it's interesting.
Yeah. The thing that I understand from this video is that if you believe in something, there is always a way to achieve on this, and if you actually achieve this, you can influence other people to the same and follow you.
That's true. And there are again different perceptions about who can achieve and what they can achieve, regarding their position maybe, or what they do within the organization. Survey shows that people at senior management and managerial level are more likely to achieve something, to play the game, the political game in that sense. But other surveys show as well that, because there were questions around, do the weak people play politics? Can they participate in the game? Surveys show that everyone can. Even if you think you are weak or you think you are the best, everyone has their way of playing again the game. And there are different triggers actually that explains the political behavior of people. There are like, the first one is like personal characteristics. How much power do you want? It's a personal thing as well. Do I want to achieve something? How do I see myself in the future? There are decision characteristics. You are in a situation where you see that the only way to do something is by following what the others do. And if what the others do is playing the game, then you decide at that point that in order to achieve what you want is this way. It's a decision that you make. And there are structural characteristics as well. There are different groups with same or different beliefs and want to achieve something. And because there are different groups and they want different things, this makes you have different political decisions as well within the organization, in the structure of an organization. You see 4 different pictures now. Who do you think is more likely to be a manager? Hands. Who do you think A? Who thinks A is more likely to be a manager? I know that the perception, what goes around to your head right now is that everyone can. The thing is, put yourself in an employee's position. How would you feel taking orders from these people, and be honest? Picture A. Who do you think is more likely to be manager? Can you have hands, please? And see. Do you understand the question? It's like, in an organization, who do you think is more likely to be promoted to a manager? And be more able to give instructions and actually the employees will listen to them? Who does think? Picture A. Picture B. Picture C.
Yeah, C.
Picture D. What becomes apparent to me, at least, at that point, is that there are different perceptions about people. We all tend to think like, when we think manager, we think male automatically. All your hands work more when we have in the A and D picture. But we had more in the A picture because that's a white man, and we had less of the D picture because it's a black man. What I'm trying to say is that in organizations we still don't have diversity, if you want. We can say that. Even if we try everything we can to achieve that diversity, there are still stereotypes that makes us believe that someone is more capable of another one. And It is a fact though, and surveys have shown that men are in general more likely to engage themselves in politics because women has more like polite nature, if you'd like. And the other reason for that is because in senior management roles there is a lack of women, and that can be because of different stereotypes again, gender issues, like perception of power, who do we perceive as more strong within the society, unequal organization, power distribution, as I said. Men and women was only as an example. There are more issues regarding diversity, color, religion, everything, different perception around it. And that makes the game more easy for those people to play, to participate in the political game. Because if you come from a diverse background, then you are more unlikely to participate because you still feel in the 21st century, still feel not good enough. When we think about politics, we usually think bad politics, but there is good politics as well, where it's like everybody thinks that there is more of bad politics, but we have both good politics and bad politics, and both good politics have positive and negative outcomes. Good politics is when it's a win-win situation, but win-win not only for yourself. It's a situation where everybody is happy, where by trying to achieve something, we think about the others as well. It's not about individuals, about me achieving something regardless of what the rest wants. Good politics are characterized by openness and cooperation and persuasion rather than trying to do something in a bad way and a mischievous way. Good politics have positive outcomes, have negative outcomes as well, but some of the positive outcomes is in the organizational level. If you do something in a good way, then the change is going to be more acceptable within the organization. More people will be willing to live what they had before in order to proceed. As I said before, it's something that has to do with everyone. Everyone is participating in this change. And it is a fact that when the organization has a more open environment, where cooperation and teamwork and working for the common good and benefit is like, this increases the job performance as well, when you are not in a hostile environment, where you are afraid to say something or do something. In the individual level, of course, it's the personal fulfilling you get when you are the one that exercises that kind of politics. Because whatever you do, you know that you did it in a good way, so you don't have guilt inside you that I did something wrong. What do you think when you hear bad politics in the organization context? What do you think bad politics is? Yes?
Misuse of power,
Yes.
abuse of power, authority.
From senior management or between?
Yeah, well, it can be from senior management, and it can be also from employees using their authority. For example, if there is a retail employee with a power to give promotions to customers, they can misuse it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Arguments.
Sorry?
Arguments.
Arguments.
Yeah, between employees as well.
Do you think more, when you think about politics within the organization, do you think more bad or good politics?
But
Bad.
Yeah.
And it includes, of course, gossiping,
Yeah.
backstabbing,
Yeah.
like your death, my life, and the motivation level. The people, the individual who actually uses this kind of power and this kind of bad politics, then he's not escaping politics, organizational politics. Wherever you work, whatever you will do, from the smallest company to the biggest multinational company, you cannot escape it. Power is a bad word. Power is not a bad word. The use of power is what makes it different. How you choose to use the power you have. This perception here that if you work hard, if you are talented, if you are skillful, if you follow the line that you need to follow, then you will have no problems whatsoever and you are going to succeed. You cannot escape politics. Even if you don't want to participate in politics, the people around you will participate. And even if you think that doesn't affect you, it does. Because there is this, I don't play the political game, where if you say it, then it's a political act in the sense that I'm saying that I don't play the political game, so I'm clean of that. And if you think that you can't stay ignorant, that you can't think that it's not there and it's not going to affect you, then the reality is that exactly what I said before, that even if you don't play the game, the rest will, and eventually it will come to you as well. That's the truth. That if you don't play, you can't win. This is our society nowadays. But it is hard to think like that because since we are kids and since when we used to play like between our friends, we always knew that someone wins and someone loses. There's always a winner and always a loser. But surveys show that people that are not capable or doesn't want to participate in this game, then they quit their job because they cannot stand it. There are two rules to remember when we talk about organizational politics. Women need more to develop their political skill, and in general, you need to develop the right image because reputations are hard to build and easy to destroy. And of course, have a plan. You need to have a plan to do something. Theorists say that there are some necessary attributes that you need to have in order to succeed, because you cannot escape it, as you said. First of all, make yourself essential. Do your job correctly. Even if you try whatever you want to try in the political game, if you are not doing your job correctly, and if you don't give your 100%, then whatever you will do, it doesn't matter. You need to be needy within the organization. Be patient, of course, and observe everything. Listen to everything that's going on around. Don't play it like that I don't care or I don't do. You care. You have to care about everything. You need to know what's going on around you. Within the groups, we might think that there are people capable of playing the game, but you need to understand who is actually have the influence. Because in the groups, maybe only one will actually have the influence, even if all of them can participate. What's really important is to start socializing with people that are not like you. It's easier to be around people that it's like us and enjoy the same thing with us, but you need to have a relationship with your subordinates, your managers, the boss, and if you have the ability to make the boss look good as well, it's even better. And the last thing that you need to remember is, even if you feel capable of fighting all the battles, you need to know which battles to fight, to pick your battles, in a sense. As I said before, we used to think that this always has to be a win-lose game, but in the organizations and in adult life, it doesn't need to be the case, because if you choose to do it the right way, then it's a win-win situation for everyone, and you can do it if you think correctly and have the necessary attributes to do it in the right way. Then it's a win-win for everyone, for the organization, for yourself, and of course the society that we operate in. At the end of the day, it's all about business, strategies, and politics. And businesses, even if we like it or not, if we admit it or not, they thrive on politics. There are highly political organizations. And it is true, fortunately, unfortunately, that only the strong survive. And this is a general rule for the society. But what we can do as future managers or future part of organization societies is to think the people next to us, not only ourselves and how we are going to succeed. Because we can succeed, even if we think collectively. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy. class. I have the slides. I'm going to give you the slides now. If you have questions.
I've got a question.
Yes.
So I was interested in what you said about women and politics, and that we're not very good at it. I just wondered what you thought about why that might be.
The first reason is because the question actually is why there are less women in senior management roles. And I think maybe some women, I'm not saying that this has to be the rule, care more about having a family or staying at home. And because we are as our nature, the woman's nature, we think 360 degrees. It is our nature instead of men that think maybe they see the facts only. Because we tend to think logically. When you count down what's more important, then I think because of our polite nature and our good nature, we choose family. And it is a choice. It's not that we have to do it. I'm not saying that there are not women that doesn't care about that, which is, I think it's 50-50 nowadays. I don't think. And I think it's going to change. But the perception of this club of boys, good old boys, and we tend to hang out together and we go to the pub afterwards, it's more of a male thing. And because they want to shape the organizations like that, they want people similar to them. And also, I think that men are afraid of women. So they close their ways within organization, in a sense. Are afraid of women. Are afraid of women having more power than them. Don't do that, it's a fact.
It's one of the issues you need to stress.
Maria.
One of the issues.
Sorry,
maybe just stress.
Yeah, but it's, they don't do it, they're told, that's why.
You have one day. Sorry, is there any more questions?
No.
No? You can email me anytime.
Of course you have.
I always have questions.
Rosalind's got a
I've got a
question.
question.
Yes.
You know how you said you have to almost be involved in politics?
Yes.
And everyone is. And if you don't, then you kind of lose out if you say, oh, I don't want to be involved. But if it's the negative sort of politics, so people are arguing and bickering, and you choose not to be involved in that, obviously that's a political decision, if you like. But surely you might sometimes be better not to be involved in that?
Of course. If you see that you don't have a choice, but if you need to participate, participating means only arguing and fighting, then you don't have to participate. But what you have to do is be close to your line manager or your senior manager and show to him or her that you are not doing that, you are doing it your way, your own way. What you do, even if it's a choice not to participate, you need to make them aware that it is a choice.
Right.
Being ignorant and saying that I don't know what to do, I don't want to know anything about them, then automatically you are being stigmatized in the sense that, okay, then we can do whatever we want with her. Because since she doesn't want to play the game, then she will follow whatever we will do. You are someone that they don't care about. And you need to make your presence clear that if you don't want to participate, I'm doing it because I think what you're doing is wrong. It's not that I don't care about what you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. I think there's just different ways people go about it, isn't there? But I get what you mean by that whatever you're doing, if you're an employee, then
Yes.
you're showing your manager that you're doing that for a reason and they'll notice
Exactly.
that as a political act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need to know why you are not doing what you are not doing, and of course what you're doing and why you are doing what you're doing. Don't be that kid on the corner or that guy on the corner that everybody thinks, yes, she's a good girl, she doesn't do anything. But it's 100%, it's a fact that even if they say and they think that you are the good kid on the corner, they're going to say something about you, they're going to gossip about you, they're going to backstab you, and when it comes to the case, you will be even more vulnerable to them to be criticized. Yes.
I couldn't agree more. I think there are people of two different types. Either either doers
Yes.
or either thinkers. So if you want to have your voice in, you cannot be a doer because listen to what others and you just do.
I will go to the
Not what that person
I
will think
will
and
go
say,
to
and now you want to change.
Good.
Try to fight your case. Either to persuade people or be persuaded. Otherwise,
Yeah.
so
You don't have a sorry?
I decide pick your side.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah. 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 Today. Yeah.
Thanks, Maria. That's really interesting. I enjoyed it. It's like almost like a motivation.